Well, hey, listen, it's middle of May,
It's
almost summer,
insane.
which lends itself to the question that we've got today, which is about how to start a summer camp. And at this point, I'm going to say, don't,
Yeah, it's
don't,
tough at this
don't
point.
do that.
This is why.
Uh, Here's the thing, guys. Paul talks about this a lot, and I think it's really important to keep this in mind. Um, we have to be planning at minimum a quarter in advance.
Minimum.
At minimum. It for some things like summer camp, I would argue that's a full 6 months ahead of time.
Especially like in Texas, like we literally are out next week was the last day of school. So it'd be like the parents have already made their plans. Their summers are locked in. You might be able, I've done in the past where I've messed up because I've forced things. You might be able to get some current students, maybe, but the kids have plans already because I feel like the parents are working. It's like if we got some clients that do summer camps and they market it, they started in like January because
Mhm.
they're targeting the parents that literally have to have somewhere to drop their kids off because they both work full-time jobs.
Exactly. And that is the market for summer camp. And if you don't, if you are not in that situation, if you and your significant other, you and your spouse do not have 9 to 5 full-time jobs, then you are not actually the typical summer camp um, uh, avatar. Okay. Like I don't have a classic full-time job. My husband does not have a classic full-time job. So we will put our kids in a camp maybe one a summer if it's something fun. Like my kids do VBS, which is like a day camp at our church. You know what I mean? So, but we do that like 1 week of the summer, and my son might do he's thinking about doing a wrestling day camp. Like these are the
Do it.
kinds of, yeah, well, yeah, for sure. But these are the kinds of camps that my family gets into. But the traditional summer camp family is a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 5 p.m. working dual household working family. And they are not looking for summer camp like we are. They're looking for summer camp as an alternative to school or hiring a nanny slash au pair or a
Different
full-time
levels.
full-time daycare. We've got some neighbors that both families work like that, and I actually had a cousin who did this. He and his wife worked. They were both engineers for the auto companies. They both worked for Ford, but they were both engineers at Ford. And I remember they asked me one time if I was going to do a summer camp for the Jiu-Jitsu Academy. And this was in like February. And I said, I don't know, maybe. And he said, well, um, my cousin's daughter, he goes, she has 1 week left available. So let me know if you're going to do it so that we can book in for that week. They
Yeah,
had 12 weeks of the summer. I don't know, maybe it's nine
heck,
weeks of the summer booked because they both work. And so they are the types who are doing the before care at the 6:30 a.m. drop-offs, and they're doing the aftercare, the 6 p.m. pickups. So, I mean, these guys are like looking for full day, full summer, all the stuff. And so, to Paul's point, if you want to do 1 week in-house,
yeah.
you can do
That is
that.
the alternative. Like doing a full blown summer camp, the ship already sailed for that one. But you can do specialty camps and parents, and it's actually really good for the marketing too to get new leads for your school. Is hey, we're doing a one. You could do like what we've done in the past. I don't do it anymore because I just don't have the bandwidth for it, and it's not. It ends up being more work than money when it comes to the end of the day when you're doing everything. But if you're like, hey, I want to pick up some extra cash this summer, do a 2 week camp, sell 1 week option or the 2 week option, make it super special. Like, hey, we're doing this bully proof super summer karate camp. You literally use karate in the stupid,
Or
you know,
why not?
it's like we had an opt-in the other day. Like, I'm looking for karate for my 5-year-old. I'm like, perfect. Well, our class is at 5:15. I didn't say we teach karate. I'm just like, they come in, see the kids in a gi. They think it's, and the kid had fun doing jujitsu, and they're like, oh, we want to sign up for karate. I'm like, did you read any of my signs? Like,
No.
literally, the door you open, jujitsu, kickboxing. I'm like, cool. We'll help your kid with. Because at the end of the day, they just want confidence and self-defense for their kid. They don't know what karate versus jujitsu is, but do a specialized camp, a 2 week camp, and then have the option to do 1 week or 2 weeks. And then it's gonna be funny at the end of the 2 weeks, you're either gonna love it or you're never gonna do it again.
Yeah.
I've
These
been
are
there.
your
I've been there like the end of the second week. I'm like, I should have done some privates.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for
It's a
sure.
handful. And don't do a full day. Don't do a full day. Because like Amy said, if you're targeting the full day parent, they're already booked up for the summer. This is the person that has disposable income that's like, hey, I want little Johnny to do something from 9 to 12.
Yeah, a day camp is a half day day camp is a great way to go. You can, you can come in, they check in, they, do
You want to
something,
provide food because that's another pain in the ass. And with any
providing food.
you can get tricky too with your depending on your state too. If you start providing food, they're like, oh, this is daycare. Where's your license?
Yeah, that's the other thing
Like,
is
oh.
if you get full into this whole summer camp thing, you start running into some areas, day camps and little things here and there you can do very easily, but there are some rules that start to come into play in certain states where you start to fall under like your insurance doesn't cover it, your martial arts insurance doesn't cover it, and now you need a different kind of insurance. And then in order to get that special kind of insurance, you actually need dedicated staff members and you need first aid CPR training and you need whatever. I'm just saying it's a bit of a slippery slope when you start going crazy. So
short-term karate camp.
Be very deliberate with what you're doing and make sure that it's very similar to what you already do. But yeah, I think you can have a lot of fun with it if you do it in a fun way where you basically, and you do the half day method, you're basically doing one class